everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Who's ready for some beautiful paper crafting? Stay tuned. Y'all, welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and welcome to all of my new subscribers and to all of my new friends. Welcome back to all of my longtime subscribers and longtime friends. Thank you all so much for the wonderful ways in which you support me and my channel. I really do appreciate it. This week, I think we're going to make some really cute and simple stationery boxes. Don't let this fool you or scare you away from the project. It is not complicated at all. We're going to do it in a very simplified way. So I'm going to give you a closer look in just a minute, but y'all know what time it is? It's time to make it. So here is a closer look at today's awesome project. When finished and folded, it measures 5 by 4.5 by 2 inches deep. And this is how we fold it. So we're just going to bring this up. It Velcros on the back, and then it Velcros on the front. So you have it in a nice little condensed box, but then when you open it, it's going to open and you're going to have a really cute stationery set. Y'all, this is so easy to do. I have put a couple of just blank cards in mine. I'm not going to decorate these. Made an envelope to go with them. Then here in the front pocket we have some little writing stationery. And then here at the top we have a place for our pen. I did include some stamps with mine, but I'm not sure if this size is able to be mailed in the USPS, so you might want to check to make sure. But either way, you're giving the person some stamps. They can use them for other reasons if they want. But look at how sweet this is. Y'all, it is so simple. I am going to show you just how simple it is to make and what we're using to make it. So I'm going to tuck this back in, and then we just fold up and fold over, and there we have it. So to make the stationery box shell, we're going to be using some poster board, and this is the 11 by 14 poster board that I get from the Dollar Tree. I have taken out 2 pieces of that poster board. We will use 1 full sheet and then a portion of another sheet. So we have 2 sheets of that. If you don't have the 11 by 14 poster board, you can join 2 pieces. Just make sure that your finished piece ends up being 11 by 14. Then I'm going to be going with this beautiful blue paper. And so here are the measurements that we're going to start out with. We might adjust these as we get into the project, but here's what we're going to need to start. I have 4 pieces that are cut at 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces of that same print, and it's cut at 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then I have 4 pieces of that same print, and it's cut at 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then I have 6 pieces of a contrasting pattern that are cut at 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. Then I have a piece that is cut at 2 by 4 1/4. And then I have a piece that is cut at 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then I have a piece that is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So those are the pieces that we're going to start out with. And then I have some more 8.5 by 11 inch pieces that I'll be using for note cards and envelopes. And I have my 8.5 by 11 inch piece. On the 11 inch side, we're going to score at 1 and at 3. And then it's too long, so I'll flip it. Score at 1 and at 3 until I meet that original score. Then I'll turn it to the opposite 11 inch side and repeat. 1 and 3. Flip it because it's too long. Go to 1 and 3 until I meet that original 3-inch score. Then I'll turn it to the 14-inch side. I'm going to score at 1, at 3, at 7.5, and at 9.5. Then I'll bring in my big old spatula because we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. So once you have all of your scores folded and burnished, here at the bottom, you're going to have this flap. It'll just be the wide flap that doesn't have the fold over. And then you're going to have this section here. So we need to go into the second score mark and cut straight down to free the tabs. So we go up and we cut straight down. Cut straight down here to free this tab. And then right here, I'll angle. And then on this side, we do the same thing. So go to that score mark and cut straight down through the middle of the score mark. Same thing here, freeing our tabs. Then we can reduce this in size. And I am going to angle that just a little bit. So far your piece should look like this. Now you're going to turn it towards you. And if you fold these two pieces, you're going to have corner pieces right here. We are going to remove these all together. So I'll go up to that score mark, the second one, cut straight down like that. And then I'll cut across like this. Same thing over here. And so now your piece will look like this. On these flaps here, we're going to remove this long piece. You can place it in your trimmer, or if you feel comfortable enough, just cut it off. Same thing on this one. So now your piece is going to look like this. And this is pretty much our completed shell. Now we want to go ahead and place down our pieces. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to take two pieces of my 4 3/4 by 4 1/4 pieces and one piece of that 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 inch pieces, and we'll place them down right there. And I'm going to place these down using tape. And y'all, as I go through this project, if there's anything that I'm doing design-wise, paper choice-wise, that you wouldn't do, then you certainly don't have to do it when you make this project. It's just one of the things that I might like, but you might not like it. Our tastes are going to be different. There certainly are not any rules in paper crafting. I get a lot of comments asking me why I covered up the pretty side of the paper, or why didn't I use this paper or that paper or this embellishment or that embellishment. And it really does come down to personal choice. Just because I'm doing it certainly doesn't mean that you have to do it. If I include cut-aparts and you wouldn't include cut-aparts, you certainly don't have to do that either. So we're going to take this one and place it right there. So that's the inside. And then I'll take two of my strips and we're going to place them down right there. And these strips measure 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. You might not even want to place down as many strips as I'm placing. And let's do this one. A lot of this I could probably skip and fast forward through, but I want to make sure that y'all see this process take shape. So now down here at the bottom, I have decided I will go with this contrasting print. It is also 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. to take this piece, place it right there, take another piece, and place it over here. If you're interested, this beautiful paper is available on my website. I believe this is called Parisian Blue, and you can see how gorgeous it is. So now I'm going to flip it over this way. We're going to take these pieces and do the same thing that we did on the inside. So we have two pieces that are 4 1/4 by 4 3/4, and one piece that is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. So again, I'm just going to take my tape and we're going to place this down like so. And then I'll place this one down. By adding all of these layers of paper along with that poster board, what I found is that you have a very sturdy box, so you really don't need to add chipboard unless, of course, you want to. Put that piece right there. And now I'll take these two pieces and we're going to put them here. So even though we had a lot of cut pieces, y'all, we have gone through them very quickly. My cut piece pile is really, really low now. So we're going to take this piece and place it right there. And place it right here. Take these two pieces and place them right there. And these pieces measure 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then let's do this one. And so now we have the main part done. And so now I need two pieces for up here, and we're going to place that right there. So let's go ahead and place that piece right there. Then I'll flip it over, and we're going to place this piece right here. On the original piece, I had a piece here. I think I'm going to leave that white because I like how that looks. So now I'm going to take my scissors, and here on the ends, I'm just going to do an angle cut. You can leave yours if you want. I just like the way that looks on the back. So now it looks like this. I have my piece that measures 2 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to place it right there. That is for my little pocket here in the front. So this time I'm going to place it down with some of my Reptile adhesive. So I'm just going to add a little bit this way, and across one long end. We'll take this piece and we're going to put it right here. And y'all, there's my little pocket for the front. There's one thing that I noticed that I did that I didn't do when I did the first one, and that is before I actually placed these down, I went ahead and glued the box together so that that white would be hidden and wouldn't show, but that's not going to bother me. I'm going to leave it, but if it bothers you, just make sure that before you actually place these down, you do this step, which is joining the box together. So all I'm doing is getting that bottom nice and even. I'll go in with my big old spatula and let's get that stuck. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to add my glue to this tab. And then I'll take this piece and we're going to get it stuck. And y'all, there is the beautiful shell of our box. Wasn't that simple? So now I'll bring in that second piece of poster board and I'm going to cut it at 6 7/8. And then I'll cut a piece at 4 1/2. And I'll cut a piece at 3 1/2. Then what I'm going to do on 3 sides, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1. And we'll do this on 3 sides. So 1/2 inch and 1. I'll go ahead and bring that other piece in because we do the same thing. So on 3 sides, we score at 1/2 inch and 1. So we do that on the 2 shorter sides and 1 long side. 1/2 inch and 1. Now we just need to fold and burnish all of our scores. On both pieces. And now that we have both pieces folded and burnished, we need to free this tab that's on the inside. So we go to the second score mark and drag straight down. Drag straight down. And then we're going to remove the outer 2 pieces and you're going to have this piece. I'm going to go ahead and just angle it a little bit because that'll make it easier. And let's do the same thing over here. So go to the second score mark and drag straight down. Same thing here. Remove this piece and let's angle. And now we'll do it on this one. And so now before we put the boxes together, we're going to go ahead and take our pieces. We have one that measures 2 1/4 by 4 3/4 and one that measures 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and we're going to go ahead and place those down. So I'm just going to put this down so that hopefully it's nice and centered. And we'll do the same thing here. And so now I'm going to put my box together with glue. I'll take my glue, place it there, place some glue here. We're going to go ahead and just join those corners, getting them nice and crisp. And then I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm just going to get my corners nice and crisp. And now I'll take some glue and put some glue there. We can take this, bring it up and over. I'm going to put my little clip there to hold that for just a minute while my glue catches. The poster board has a little coating on it, so sometimes it might resist the glue. So this time I'm just going to use my tape, and I'm going to place tape right there. And then I'll place tape on these pieces here. So you can use your tape or your glue on this. I'm just using my tape and I use my glue, so you can see that you can do either or. And I am just going to place that down. Place that down. Fold that up. And we're going to stick that piece, fold that up, and we're going to stick that piece. And now we have our 2 pieces. This should be nice and stuck, and it is. So we have our 2 pieces that go on the inside. This piece already has tape on it, so I am going to try to place that in, getting it all the way at the back. Let's push that back. I'll show you guys what I'm doing in just a minute. So basically all I'm doing is I'm putting that in like that, and I'm making sure that my corners hit the back and that my side hits. So now I'm just going to take my ruler, because it's nice, long, and flat, and just go in and get that stuck. So there's my back box. We're going to take that front box and we put it in just like that. So I am just going to add my glue all along here. I'm going to put some glue on the bottom, keep that stuck. And then I need to put some glue on the side. Bend that back a little bit so that y'all can see. We're going to take this, put it in, and I need to make sure that I push it back so that it completely hits the box behind it. And then I need to go in with my handy dandy flat ruler, and let's get this stuck. And y'all, isn't that pretty? I absolutely love it. So we're going to go ahead and make a very simple pin loop. And my pin loop will not be for this pin. You're going to need to have some smaller pins. And I found this small pin a while back at the Dollar Tree, and it's about 4 inches long. All I'm going to do is just take these little loops that I've made, and I'm going to bend them like this and just put them in right there. So I'm going to do 2 of these because that will help to stabilize my pin. And you can see how that loop is. So there's 1. And so I'll take this one, we'll place it right there. And so now we have double loops here at the top that will help to hold our pin. And so now when you find a pin that's small enough, you can take this and put it in the loops and it will hold. Or if you want it to leave the top open, this pin is more than acceptable to sit there because it looks so beautiful. And so now I'm just going to add my Velcro dots so that we can close this. Go ahead and place that one right up top. So now we can fold up and around and around and stick that, fold over and stick that. See how cute that is? So I'm going to show you very quickly how we can make a nice little card and an envelope for this. It is not going to take much. So I'm going to cut a piece at 4.5 by 7.5. This will be my card. And then I'll score it on the 7.5 inch side at 3 3/4. And y'all, this is my easy peasy little card. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut out just a couple of pieces for the front, and I'm going to cut that at 3.5 by 4. So those are my little note card pieces. Then we're going to make the envelope, and we're going to cut the envelope out at 6 5/8 by 11. And so on the 6 5/8 side, we're going to score at 1. Rotate it to the opposite 6 5/8, score at 1. Turn it to the 11, score at 3 3/4, and score at 7 5/8. And then we're going to fold and burnish all of those score marks. And then we'll make our envelopes. So our goal is to free up these center tabs. So go to the score mark and angle in there, and you freed that tab. On this side we do the same thing, so angle in here and here to free that tab. So now we're going to remove our corner pieces by simply angling in as we drag down. And angle in here and here. So now I'm going to take my scissors and just round my ends. Around this end as well as this end. Now I can take my tape. The widest end is the bottom. So I'm going to take my tape, put my tape there and tape there, just a little tape here. Fold up. And y'all, there's my envelope. I can seal this using double stick tape. So now we can take the envelope, put it in the back there. We can take our cards and put them in right there. And then you can take your little pieces for note paper and tuck them in that pocket there. And then if you want to tuck in some stamps for good measure, you can do that as well. So I haven't added any embellishments or decorations to this, but you most certainly can. I might go back and fussy cut a flower for this part here. And I think I'm going to leave the front as is because y'all, I did it again. Y'all know, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that the one thing I am is an upside down girl. I can look at it and I believe I have it in the right place, and y'all, I don't. So I am going to just take this and fold it over, and you can see that my little birdhouse is upside down. That's okay with me because this isn't anything that I would sell to someone. It might be something that I give away if someone doesn't mind having an upside down stationery set, but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and most of the time it's going to be opened anyway. So this is what you'll see. So I might go back and do my little fussy cutting and create a fussy cut flower there. But look at this set. And you saw how easy it was to make. So I'm going to bring this one back in so that you can see we have these two gorgeous, gorgeous sets. So easy. It all started with some Dollar Tree poster board. So I hope that you have enjoyed this fun, quick and easy way to make this beautiful stationery set. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.